Hi you guys, welcome back to another first impression video. We are, I think, closing out the summer collection today from the Big Five. We've already covered Butterick, Vogue, Nomi, Simplicity, and McCall's. But we have not touched New Look today. So that's what we are going to be taking a look at. If this is your very first time here, welcome. We are going to look at all of the new patterns from the New Look collection. We're going to take a look at each and every one of them and kind of just chat about the overall design, some fit issues I might see, some fabric options you might have, and just kind of like chat through them together. So the very first one is this Mrs. Dress in two lengths. We have all the sizes in one for New Look. 8 to 18 is the size range, and this is all just kind of like coming to mind now, but New Look used to be on the wall at Joann's, right? And it was always $3.99. So now it looks like they're going to be $5.99 regularly, and they're going to go on sale for $3.99. So $2 more plus shipping is what we're looking at for New Look. Not the end of the world. $6 for a Big Five pattern is still pretty good. I don't know. I don't like that I knew that they were $2 cheaper retail. You know what I mean? Because I know that they were Joann was marking them up. I don't know. I feel icky about that, but that I guess something I'm just gonna have to get over. You know, capitalism at its finest, right? Okay, so back to the sizing. 8 to 18 in the Big Five misses means that we are not getting the smaller sizes, 4 and 6, and we're also not getting the upper end of the misses range, 20, 22, and 24. I think it goes up to 24. So just the mid-size. I mean, 8 is still pretty small in Big Five patterns, but not the smallest. And I cannot wear an 18. And I am like I don't know, probably 14, 16 and ready to wear. So take that information for what it's worth. Okay, so but this dress, let's read the description. Fitted unlined dress. Unlined. Okay, sewing pattern with length variations, has pleated bodice, circle skirt with stitched hem and pockets. Back zipper and hook and eye closure. Purchased by his tape finishes armholes because it's unlined. Okay. I see you. Yeah, it's pretty. It's really pretty. This is reminding me of Marilyn Monroe's dress. You know, her famous one above the subway in New York City where it blows up in the air. I'm kind of getting those vibes from it. Deep V, which maybe surprisingly does really well for Big Five. I remember that maxi dress that they did like maybe 5 years ago that just maybe a little bit longer than that sold out like crazy. Everyone had it. Everyone made it. It went bonkers. This is kind of giving me those vibes. We do have like this isn't just draped, it's actually fully pleated. You can actually see right here. Maybe they'll give us a closer up picture, but you can see how, like, what happens when those pleats kind of open up. But you've got a super, super deep V. You do not have to keep it this way. I have a video here from a sew along where I show you how to adjust that, how to alter that. I'll put it in the little, the little drop-ins that you can do over here in the top right corner. So you guys can watch that if you want. We have a dedicated waist seam. Now, all of these illustrations show it being flat, horizontal. On her, it is dropping down a bit on the sides. That could indicate that it's just a little bit too big for her. I don't think that necessarily it's the fabric pulling it down. I mean, maybe it's the excess fabric from the pockets, but that isn't really, I think it's probably just too big in the back. Let's see if we can find some pictures of that. There she is again, and zoomed in, you can see how these are actually like ironed in pleats. So it is still really pretty though. I do like it, especially for a summer cocktail event. And a circle skirt is always great. Super easy to sew to get this effect. It's going to take a lot of fabric. Oh, look at her. Okay, we've got another picture other than the cover. My gosh, what's happening? Yeah, this one's like probably a still from the video that they shoot, so you can see some of the movement. Thank you for that. Okay, here's the back. So yeah, it is probably just a little bit too long in the back, maybe. Not really feeling like it's necessarily too big. I mean, this is certainly an issue, right? But I do love, love, love these cut in shoulders so much. That's really pretty. And then the neckline comes up really high in the back, almost like a collar. So you have your zipper ending here and then a hook and eye here. And they actually did a centered zipper, not invisible. That is interesting. Maybe they're trying to make it more beginner friendly. I don't know, but it is a really pretty dress. Okay, so let's take a look at the back. Again, 8 to 18 in the size range. Finished garment measurements. We do get the bust and the waist. The waist is supposedly only has 1 inch of ease, which that's reasonable. You could definitely go up to 2, maybe. No more than that. And then the bust has, what is that, 2.5. And I think that the gap in the front is also being counted in that. I have a hard time trusting the finished garment measurements whenever there's like a deep V or like a cutout or something happening in the center front or the back for that matter. So you can just double check that yourself to confirm that, the measurements are all correct. What else was I going to say about fit? Oh yeah, as always, you should be checking the length measurements on your patterns in addition to the horizontal ones. So, tissue fit it is the simplest way, and make sure that the bust mark is hitting at your bust apex, the waist mark is hitting at your waistline. And then you'll avoid that issue that they had on the fit model where it was a little bit too long in the back. Fabrics, they're suggesting crepeback satin, lightweight broadcloth, rayon challis. Okay, so if you've recently downloaded my fabric guide and cheat sheet and you're learning about these suggested fabrics and what they really mean, then you'll understand what I'm about to say. But these are representative of the season in which the pattern is sold. So these are summery, quote unquote, fabrics. You don't have to make them in these. What I like to do, instead of just looking at these and only buying one of these 3, is kind of get an idea of what they're trying to tell me the vibe of the fabric is. So crepeback satin is a little bit shiny. It's definitely drapey. It does have some weight to it. Lightweight broadcloth is lightweight, obviously, but it has a little bit more structure to it. And rayon challis has no sheen, no weight, and tons of drape. So we're getting a light to mid-weight, drapey to slight structure, I guess we could call the broadcloth. Doesn't have no structure, it definitely has some, but minimal structure, we'll call it. The more structured the fabric is, the more that this skirt will stand away from your body. The drapier the fabric is, the more it'll fall in on your body. So that's what you're looking for when you're looking for fabrics for this pattern. Cute, good start. Okay, next up we have this Mrs. dress with sleeve and length variations. Extra small to 2X is the size range. And I think, let me look at the size chart just to double check. But I think that extra small does include a 4, yes, and XL does include a 24. So in theory, this one covers the entire size range. We'll look at finished garment measurements to see exactly what that means. The fit on this is very forgiving. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in a second too. So that also makes it a little bit more doable for the sizes that are outside of this size range or on the edges. Okay, loose fitting pullover dress has button, loop, and loop closing at back neck, sleeve. Oh, so it has a keyhole. Okay, sleeve and hem variations. View A has contrast back. Okay, so they're doing a good job styling these girls. I'll give them that. So we've got a pretty simple sheath dress. A little long in the shoulder, but I say that, but the sleeve cap is also very, very narrow, I guess is the word. This doesn't have a large cup to it. So if you did shorten this, you would have to flatten out the sleeve head. Otherwise your shoulder wouldn't fit in it. Like the ball of your shoulder wouldn't fit in it. So kind of the lesser of two evils there. Definitely triple check the bicep on this one. It is very close fitting. Other than that, the only thing you should have to be, really the only thing you're fitting here is the maybe like upper, no, full bust and up. Everything else is going to be fine. I'm also noticing a little bit of a gather here. That could be a really cute detail. Same picture. That's the front still, sleeveless. Now, if you are making the sleeveless version, you can definitely cut this back, like a lot. On her, gosh, maybe 1-2 inches. Yeah, for sure. Okay, there's the version she's wearing. Here's the back. Okay, so the back is the same and then has the ruffle only in the back. What are our thoughts about that in terms of being flattering? And also, is it worth the work? Would people even notice? I mean, we notice, but does anybody else? I think if it's a more structured fabric like this one, it definitely adds some volume, which is kind of fun, but it is hitting right at your low hip. So if you are a pear shape, you know, that could be a choice. This is a seersucker fabric for sure. There's the keyhole with the thing. And then this comes down. It's looking a lot less A-line. This is giving very column looking, whereas here we're getting a lot of flare. I wonder what's happening there other than her just standing perfectly still. What happens? Oh, we don't get to see the front. I'm thinking what's happening is when you walk and move around, and, you know, do your normal like model-y, you know how models look when they pose. It gets a little bit swishy. When you're standing still though, I don't know. This is not, the math isn't mathing on this. I don't know if they clipped it in the front, if she's holding it in the front. But this just feels like the back and the front aren't matching in terms of volume. So I don't know what's going on. I want it to be more like the front, like the other pictures. Okay, the back. All right, so body measurement wise, they're going from 29.5 to 48, which in terms of finished is really 37.5. 37.5 for a 29.5-inch bust. That's 8 inches of ease at the full bust. Are you guys sure? Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, but I don't know about 8. I'm thinking more like 6, which honestly would be more in line with the higher end. Oh boy, sorry. Higher end of the, because there's 2 inches of difference in each alphanumeric size. So they're going from 6 to 8. I think I'd rather go from 4 to 6. I don't know. The waist to me is kind of negligible. So again, I would base this off the bust. If you like things a little bit more close fitted, opt for 4 inches. If you like for things to be a little bit looser fitted, opt for 6. If you really like things oversized, you can go for 8, but that feels, 8 feels like a lot. And then so then that goes up to 55 inches. But again, if you are doing anything other than 8 inches of ease at the bust, this isn't 55. This is 53 or 51. Fabrics, crepe, lightweight broadcloth, linen blends, and seersucker, which is what the model was wearing. So you're looking for lightweight with a little bit of structure. Notions wise, you'll need 1/2 inch button, 1/2 inch single fold bias tape, 3/4 of a yard for A, 2 yards for B. You're going to be finishing the neck hole line with that and finishing the arm size. I don't know when we went away from facings. I kind of like a facing better. Are we also doing the neckline with that? Because how much for 3/4 of a yard for A? So that's like not 18 inches, 20 something inches. Yeah, we might be doing the neckline too. I don't know. Something like this, I might go for like an all-in-one. Oh, well, yeah, a facing for this version with the sleeves, obviously. With this sleeveless version, I might go for an all-in-one. It kind of looks like a It goes like do 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 do, kind of like that. Okay, another Mrs. Dress. This one is 8 to 18 in the sizing. Sundress sewing patterns with sleeve and neckline variations have halter or straps option and zipper closure. B, C, and E have purchased ribbon. Okay, so we have got a empire waist dress with a midriff, and it looks like a semicircle skirt. So not a full circle, maybe half circle skirt. We've got a couple different options here, actually several options. You've got this little crossover with like a wider strap for B. A is the same thing but a narrower strap. Maybe also more of a halter top, whereas this one goes, we'll have to look at all the line drawings. Hold, please. Okay, so A is a halter top that ties in the back. B is the one the model's wearing. So it goes up and around and you have normal straps in the back. D is this kind of, not crossover, not surplus bodice, but like a, I don't know, straight across one, or it does have a curve, you know what I mean? And then this one's more like a sweetheart neckline with a crossover, and this one's a sweetheart neckline without the crossover. You also have thin straps, thick straps that go into a gather. Seriously, so many bodice options here, which I love. So, fun fact, if you didn't know this, if you have a dress that has a horizontal line at the same place as another dress or jumpsuit, you can swap them out. You can swap out the bottoms and the tops. So for this one, if you have, like, for example, the circle skirt from the very first pattern we looked at, you can swap that out for this skirt or vice versa, just using this waist seam. You can swap out empire waist tops and bottoms with this. So if you had not a midriff skirt, you just had something full and loose or some other variation, you can swap out this bodice for that. You'll just have to add the waistline in the back will have to change, which is a little bit more complicated. But if you keep the midriff, it's super easy to swap out any kind of skirt you want. Meaning you can have all these options plus like a whole slew of others. Pleated skirt, gathered skirt, pencil skirt, all the things. So this is one pattern with like a million different variations. I'm not good at math, but some crazy amount. So yeah, super cute little sundress, one pattern, so many options. I love that. It really does give a lot of value to the pattern. So we've got this ribbon that they're talking about here. They've also sewn it here. That's a sweet detail. This one's really pretty. All of these are so nice. You know what would be interesting? Someone who's getting married next year, buy this pattern for your bridesmaids' dresses, and everybody can pick a design that they like, and you can do like similar colors, but everyone gets a different design. Isn't that fun? Okay, let me know if you do that. All right, so let's see here. Sizing wise, we've got what? Okay, the 2.5 inches in the bust. That makes sense. The waist has 4 inches. Yeah, I don't know about that. I think they're saying 4 inch. Oh, look, also look how long this is. I didn't notice that before. This is the waist seam. I think, yeah, this is the waist seam. It's supposed to be way up here. So double check this midriff. This length looks really good for her bust cup size. But this might be a little long. Anyways, I don't think that this tie is really doing that much to cinch it in. Where's the back? Do we get to picture the back? No, we'd only get that side picture. Yeah, 4 seems like a lot. Not the end of the world 4, but too tough 4. I wouldn't go any more than 4. That's for sure. Okay, look at all of these suggested fabrics. Wow, this really is like a one pattern wonder. Broadcloth, cotton and cotton blends, crepe de chine, double georgette, jacquard, laundered cottons, laundered silk rayons, linen, linen blends, piqué, poplin, satin, seersucker, shantung, silk, silky types, and taffeta. Oh, that is like literally everything under the sun. The only thing you cannot make this out of is heavyweight structured, super structured, well, honestly, even structured stuff. So heavyweight and also at the same time structured. Yeah, any lightweight to midweight, super drapey, all the way up to something with like mid structure, like these cottons, like taffeta. Taffeta has a pretty decent amount of structure in it, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, you can kind of not go wrong with your fabric selection. It's just a matter of how you envision it in your head, what you want it to look like, what you want it to feel like, and that matching your fabric. So just remember, the drapier the fabric, the more it's going to fall in on your body. The more structured the fabric, the more it's going to stand away from your body. But yeah, that's a good value pattern. $6 for 5 different bodices that you can swap out with other skirts. That's great. Okay, now we have shirt, pants, and shorts. Now, generally, I really like these because, again, it's a lot of bang for your buck. 3 patterns, or yeah, 3 garments from one $6 pattern. That's good value. Now, what it depends on is whether or not I would actually wear all 3 patterns. So this one is 8 to 20. Okay, we got an extra little size there. Relaxed shirt pattern with back yoke, has drop shoulders, elbow length sleeves, straight leg cropped pants, and shorts have patch pocket details. Okay, so we've got your basic like camp shirt here. Pretty easy collar to sew. Of all the collars, this one's like in the middle of difficulty. You've got your button band down the front. Again, a longer shoulder, but that's also reflected here in the line drawing. So I feel like these do match. Now these shorts, I guess, and pants, they are a straight leg. I'm getting like, my thighs would never. My thighs would absolutely not ever. So I'm looking at this knowing I'm going to have to do a lot of work to these pants. Now, I do have to do some work to all pants. So a little bit of extra work for these pants. I don't know. My thought is I have other shorts that have more of a flare to them, which I think looks better on me anyways. So I don't know that I would make these. And I already have a camp shirt. So to me, this one's not that valuable. But if you're just building your wardrobe, if you have like a slim frame, and these shorts are something that you would like to wear, this would be a good option for you. I do like, thank you for showing me the waistband of the pants. I love that. Thank you so much for that. They don't always do that. So we've got like a dedicated waistband here. It does sit 1 inch below the waist. It's probably a little bit curved based on the way these lines are going. It does have a patch pocket that they matched. I don't know if I would have turned them on the bias or not, but you can just see that she's definitely popped this hip out, and that's all the ease you're going to get in the thigh. The moment she moves her leg up, she's already like digging in, so I can only imagine what that would do for someone like me. But yeah, really pretty camp shirt design. If you don't have one already, this is a really cute one. You'll love it. You'll wear it all the time. So the back of these pants are actually more relaxed than I thought, which is interesting. So I have what they call an athletic front thigh, meaning like what muscle is that? Quad is very large, where what is the one in the back under your butt? Not my glute. Whatever's underneath your glute. This one here, whatever that one is not very pronounced at all. So I actually need more ease in the front of my thigh than I do in the back of my thigh, but I need more ease in the butt than I do in the front. So that's what makes fitting kind of complicated for me. I'm just like so wavy, not just, well, side to side for sure, but also front to back. So this is an interesting thing. If you know that you have a flat front thigh or narrow, I guess, or unathletic, that sounds mean, and you have more of a full butt, this might work for you. It's not the worst fitting short I've ever seen. I am feeling like this is shorter than this, though, which is interesting. I don't know what's happening with that. Maybe it's just perception, but not the worst fitting short I've ever seen. The design of it just might not be my style. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. All right, so finished garment measurements. I'm not so concerned about the top at all. For the record, there's 10 and a half, 11 inches of ease. That makes sense for a camp shirt. If you're in between, you can go down to something like 8 and it would be fine. The hip for the short is what I'm looking at. And it says that we're getting 5 inches of ease there. Are you guys seeing 5 inches of ease? I don't know about that. If there for sure is 5 inches of ease through this hip right here, which there's no way on her. I don't know. I'm getting like 2. But if there is 5 inches of ease through here, then I might only need to do a front thigh adjustment and these would actually kind of work. Interesting. I don't like whenever like it's conflicting between the picture and what's on the back of the envelope. I don't know which one to trust. I have trust issues, especially when it comes to patterns. And you can't really figure that out until you open up the pattern pieces, which also means you can't return it if it doesn't work. So at the end of the day, it's probably a pattern I wouldn't buy, but if you're willing to risk it for the biscuit, that's something to think about. Okay, fabric, chambray, cotton's denim, linen, poplin. Yeah, so mid-weight, mid-structure fabrics. You could also go a little bit heavyweight denim. Well, heavyweight and kind of a lot of structure. You don't need any drape for this at all. I think if you're getting them to match, you need a little bit of drape for the top. But if you're going to do, the top out of one fabric and the shorts out of another, you could go pretty heavyweight. Bottom weight is what they call it for the short. I would not do the top out of a bottom weight, though. Only because of these gathers. If you eliminated the gathers, could you do one? Yeah. But it would be really, really structured, more like a suit than this like casual, easygoing vibe. Okay, now we have a Mrs. Top and Pants. 8 to 18 on the size range. It's a knit top and knit pant. So knit top sewing pattern can be made with cap sleeves or 3/4 sleeves and has binding around the neck. Woven pants. Okay, so the pants are not knit. It should say knit tops and woven pants if anybody from New Look is wanting to edit the website. Woven crop pants are slim and have hemmed or tied ankle. Pants also have elastic waist and pockets. Okay, so you've got your pretty basic t-shirt, which, I don't know, I kind of feel like even if you've been sewing for less than a year, you picked up a t-shirt pattern by now, maybe even one for free. So that kind of feels like a little bit of a throwaway. These pants are woven pull-on pants. Honestly, the shape of them does feel a lot like the shorts we just looked at, straight leg. But the tie is sort of cute. Then again, you could do this to any pants that you already own. This is not like a very difficult feature to mimic. But it is definitely a slim pant. This is feeling very like JCPenney to me. I don't really know. I wouldn't wear these two things together like this. I also don't wear t-shirts like this, so maybe that's also part of what I'm thinking about. But I don't know. These casual type of pants with this high heel too is throwing me off. This whole thing is like a little bit confusing. The crotch on this one, again, the seat is very full. So I don't know if this fit model in particular just has like, if they made them too big for her. I don't know. The waistband on the other one didn't look too bad at all. But there's definitely some issues happening here. Even if she is standing predominantly on this leg, there's just a lot of fabric here. All right. The back is telling us that the bust of the t-shirt has 4.5 inches of positive ease. That's a pretty loose fitting top for a knit anyways. And then the hip, again, they're giving us 5 inches of ease. So these are a little bit easier to fit because you don't have to worry about the waist at all. The elastic does all the work for the waist. But yeah, the back seat is what's most concerning for me. Okay, we've got a caftan in 2 lengths. Sizing is going to be small to 2X. You guys seriously couldn't fit in an extra small? Seriously. Um, Caftan sewing pattern with deep V neckline and front gather band has back loop and button closure, deep side slits. View A is ankle length, view B is mid thigh length. This is the closet core. Whoa, shoot. What's that? Something caftan. Closet core. Something. Claire? No. Closet core. Something. She has that caftan. You know what I mean? With this little square. It's the same thing. Hers might not be this deep V though, but very simple, easy to sew design. Where did this girl's waist go? Oh my god. They made the band like her entire waist. That's funny. And then this high slit, which she has to wear shorts under, obviously. What I've been seeing and ready to wear that I think is super cute are more like, I'm going to say this word and you're going to roll your eyes. You're going to be like, ugh, but bloomers. Or like a matchy short. So same striped linen, but in a short. Even a short. And then you show some of that through the caftan, which I think is really, really cute. Even if you did the short version. If you wanted to make this caftan wearable like somewhere other than the beach where you didn't have to wear shorts underneath, then just zip this up. It only has to open up to here or wherever you want it. I do want to see the back. Yeah, see how she has like shorts on? Obviously she's got some kind of bra showing too, but oh, here. Oh, you know what? This is such a small detail. It's really no different in terms of construction than doing a keyhole that closes up to here. But having it open all the way down, I don't know. That's such a fun little detail for a caftan. This is really nice. I might take my closet core one and make these alterations to it. No sense in buying a new pattern. But this is, let's see, very roomy. I don't even know that we need to look at this. Probably, well, let's see. 20 inches in the bust does seem like a lot. And the waist has 20 also, and like 15 in the hip. So I would take your largest body section, bust, waist, or hip, and base it off of that. And then, yeah, oh God. 15 seems like a good number to aim for no matter where you are on that. 20 does feel a little bit like swimming, but only in relation to the rest of your body. Maybe it's one of those things that you also, depending on your full cup size, maybe you just use your upper bust. That way the shoulder and everything fits really well. And then you figure it out from there. I would go one of those two directions. Either they're using the fullest part of your body or your upper bust measurement. If you use your upper bust measurement and that means the hip is going to be like 8 inches, then I wouldn't do that. Does that make sense? Fabric, we are looking at batik, calico, chambray, launder cottons, madras, seersucker. No allowance made for matching plaids, check, stripes, or large patterned fabrics. No allowance made. I mean, I think they mean in terms of quantity. So buy extra if you're going to try and do that is what they're saying. Okay. So fabric wise, we're looking at light weight, not super lightweight, but lightweight, but structured for the weight. Okay, now we have another one of these like whole outfit wardrobe patterns. We've got a Mrs. Coat top and pants, sizes 8 to 18, loose fitting pull on coat pattern. Aren't all coats pull on? I don't know what that means. Maybe it means that there's no buttons. Okay, yeah, no closures. Okay. Folding sleeves, side seam pockets, which are going to be floppy. So we are going to omit those because we don't do floppy pockets around here. Deep side slits on the jacket. Okay. Sleeveless tops with V neckline have shaped attached ties. Top wraps and fastens of the back. Top wraps and fastens of the back. Top fastens at the front. Does that just mean there's an option? High-waisted trousers have front inverted pleats, back darts, and left side zip closure. I do love a side zip on a pant. Okay, so wraps and ties in the back. Great. I don't know what they're talking about, this ties in the front thing. Oh. Oh, there's two versions. Okay, so we're just missing the letters here. Okay. View B, ties in the back. View C, ties in the front. Then you have these high-waisted pants. Now, I have made pants like this before where the waistband is actually like built into the inside of the pant, and I do love them. It is a very, very clean, sharp look. So this and this and this, I would definitely wear and make. This, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It feels like something I've already got. But this is kind of a really cool pattern. The pants that I have are a Vogue pattern. They do have boning in here. My Vogue ones. What else was it? Just some interfacing. I don't think these are going to have the boning. Maybe, maybe not. But I did them for like a holiday. Actually, there might be a sew-along for them. If there is, I'll put one up here. And then ties in the front or ties in the back. It's giving a little bit 80s in the pants because of the leg shape. My Vogue ones are wider leg. It's an easy alteration to make. Not sure I'm loving this high-waisted plus like slim fit. Feels a little bit, proportions are a little bit funky there. But if it were a wider leg all day long. Oh, that is not what I was expecting. This is also feeling very, what's the word? Not great. Yeah, I thought it would be more cardigan-like, more, I mean, I know that it's a drop shoulder. I just didn't expect all this ease, is all. There's the top tying in the back. Now, I'm pretty sure the top is woven still. You've got these nice darts in the back. This looks okay, considering she's just a fit model, and these weren't made for her, so I don't hate those. Again, I love a side zipper because it keeps this part nice and clean, and also allows you to use this as a fitting opportunity, whereas if there's a zipper there, it's really hard to do. But yeah, the leg shape plus the height is strange. But I think it could be cuter than what they did with it. For sure. The finished garment measurements are not here. They're going to be on the back of the envelope or on the instructions inside. But, you know, maybe 2 to 4 inches in the bust, 1 to 2 in the waist of the pant, and then like 5 plus for the hip, somewhere around there. Fabrics are going to be, now I wish they would have separated these out by coat, top, and pants. I think the coat and the pants can be made out of the same fabrics, but I think this one should be made out of something different. So they're suggesting challis, which I don't recommend for the pants at all. Cotton blends would work for all of them. Linen, all of them. Synthetics, that's pretty vague. We're going to skip over that. Washed silk, yeah, all of them. Wool crepe. Yeah, all of them. So really, challis is the only one that's kind of like, I don't know if I want these kinds of pants out of challis. Something way more loose fitting with an elastic waist, challis all day long, but maybe not for these. So if we're looking at everything else, we've got some lightweight structure happening here, but also some mid-weight with drape. So either one of those combinations. Think about like your favorite, like almost more like trouser pants these are going to be. So think about trouser, quote unquote. All right. All you need, oh, there's shoulder pads in that coat in addition. Yeah, I don't know about that. One zipper and hook and eye are for the notion. So yeah, the coat is, I'd just use a different coat. Okay, so this is a romper and jumpsuit. Sizes 6 to 16, so they went one size down the whole range. Romper and jumpsuit sewing patterns are close fitting through the bodice and have halter neckline that ties at the back of the neck, back zipper, and length variations. We just saw one of these. Was it Vogue? The white? Who remembers seeing the white? I think that was just a top though. Am I right? I can't remember. But this little twisty halter neckline, we just saw from another one of the pattern companies. So they're either all like looking at the same references or this is really a trend that we're going to see a lot. I love a halter top. I think that it's very flattering on every woman with the shoulders. This one just makes it a little bit more sexy because you've got, more of your décolleté. Is that how you say it? Dégagé? What is it? Anyways, so yeah, you got this wraparound thing, which is honestly so easy to sew. These are basically triangles, and you just see how it's hemmed right here? Yeah, and then you just tie them together or sew them together in the back or put a button there or something, and then put into this waist seam. And then you have these shorts that have this dart that opens up into a pleat. It looks like that's happening 1, 2, 4 times across the front. I love this little kind of fit and flare skirt. That looks really short compared to the bodice, but it looks good on her, I think. Let me look. Let me go back. Yeah, it's a little long through here, a little blousey, but then I say that, but you should double check this. Because now I'm thinking that they fudged this somehow and tucked it in more so that they wouldn't be blousey all over. Because it does seem weird that it would be totally flat here and then blouse out. It's not supposed to be blousey at all. There it is in more of a culotte. Okay, yes ma'am. Comes all the way down, fully open back. So, I know those of you that are screaming at your computers, I can never wear that. I have to wear a bra, blah, 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 blah. You do you. But these days, there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots, so many options for you to try. If you just need coverage, you can line these and put in a bust cup. They have tape now. They have nipple covers. They have literally all the things. So I don't want to hear it. If you like it, make it, is my thought. But so you've got a zipper here. Again, a centered zipper. Hook and eye here, and then it ties in the back. This top could not be easier to sew. So it's not ever a dress. It's just a romper or a jumpsuit. So, and again, another one of these prime examples where you could take any skirt you've got that goes to the true waist, and you could swap out a skirt for this. Also, it looks like there's 3 pleats. 3 of them, not 2, like I thought. You guys are not surprised. I like this. This is like my new aesthetic. This like kind of resort wear. I don't know that I would make it out of a shiny fabric like that. I like to mix like casual fabrics with dressy patterns and vice versa. So I would not be looking at any of these. This challis, crepeback satin, lightweight broadcloth, all those things would work. I think I would like it more out of like a linen, a chambray, something along those lines. Linen blend, maybe a linen with some rayon in it. That kind of vibe. Fit wise, this is not going to fit me, so I can't get this pattern, but fit wise, we are looking at, I say that, but bust has 5.5 inches of ease, which again, when it doesn't have a back on it, I don't really know how they're calculating that. That seems like something you could just tissue fit. Like, is this triangle going to cover my boob or not? Waist, they're not even giving the waist. That's a missed opportunity. Oh, I lied. Go back. They're not giving the bust, which makes sense for the reasons that I just said. Okay, so the waist is 2 inches. Perfect. That makes sense. And the hip is, what is that? 33, 43, 22 inches in the waist? Seriously? Because if that's the case, then I can definitely make it. I won't have as much ease. I would only have, what did I just say? 20, hold on, I'm not good at math. 33, 43, 53, 22 inches. And then each one of these is 2 inches. So 18, 20, 22. So instead of having 23, I'd have 17, which is still a lot. So maybe I could make this. It would come down to the waist. I don't know if I can do a 32-inch waist. But it seems to me like that waistband is easy enough to... This might be something that I could fudge into my size. Because you're just going to make the waistband wider, which has to fit the opening of the short anyways. Maybe I take out one of these pleats. Or just add to the side seam. Anyways, and then this part, you can also make that longer. That's not hard to do either. Well, that's exciting. Maybe. Okay, we have unisex hoodies. Hoodies for summer? Seriously? Small to 2X. View A fitted hoodie sewing pattern has raglan sleeves, contrast side panels, cuffs, hemband, and contrast hood lining. View B zipper front hoodie has raglan sleeves, kangaroo pockets, and contrast cuffs, hemband, and contrast hood lining. Hood is lined also? Oh my god. So yeah, a pullover or a zip front. Not to say that these aren't cute. They definitely are. Raglan with a zip, and then your rib finishing there. Rib here. I mean, you definitely see these in stores. It's not, anything revolutionary, but you can see the inspiration is everywhere. But I just don't know about a lined hoodie in the summer. They could have at least made these like mesh panels or something. I guess, I don't know. If you live in Canada, it doesn't get very cold. What are the fabrics? Moderate sweatshirt fleece? No. Cotton knit? Okay, maybe. Interlock fleece, knitted velour. They got confused. This is supposed to come out in the fall. The only way I would make this now is if it were out of like that athletic knit, you know what I mean? Where I don't even know if it needs to be that stretchy. It says C stretch gauge. I'm not even going to go into the stretch gauge issues I have right now. I just can't this time. Go to my other videos. You'll hear my soapbox about it. But I would do it out of, you know what I mean? Like those lightweight, like almost like cycling hoodie type things. They're thin and lightweight. Like maybe in the morning, you go on a bike ride, you need something a little bit extra to cover up with in the summer. Sweatshirt fleece ain't happening though. That is just, I'm getting overheated just thinking about it. That's like a heat stroke waiting to happen. Body measurement wise, we have 4 inches in the chest, and the lower edge, which I guess would be your hip measurement. It's a little bit different for this one because it's scoopy, but looks like it's going to be 0 inches for A, width lower edge, 0 inches of ease. -2 if you're on the smaller side of small. That does look like 0 or even a negative. Okay, I'll give you that. You have to have some stretch or ease there if you're making this out of sweatshirt fleece. I just want to put that out there. So this one's just feeling weird all around. Maybe they just tried to bury it and hope no one would see, but I see everything. Okay, now we have a top and skirt, both knit, sizing small to extra large. Close fitting pullover top patterns have wrap front with left side gathers, aka ruching, sleeve variations, and narrow hems. Skirt patterns below waist have elasticized waist, self-lined yoke variations, and narrow hem. I'm not seeing that in those pictures. View D has high-low hem, wrong side shows. View E has gathered yoke. So they're calling the waistband also a yoke. They're using those words interchangeably, which is confusing for me. Well, I guess I said elasticized waist. They didn't say elasticized waistband. So it's knit with elastic inside it. Then they're calling this a yoke. And the variations in the yoke, it looks like, is either a gathered one or a flat. I kind of love the gathered one. Remember those yoga fold-over yoga pants? Those were a whole moment. Okay, but yeah, this top, a classic. It's never going out of style. Looks really good. Very good at camouflaging a lot of stomach issues. Pretty neckline. This is very ballerina like, right? And then you pair it with essentially a knit circle skirt, and you have a very sweet, feminine, girly look. I don't hate this at all. I have no problems with this. We're not going to get to see it on a human being. That's the problem I have. But it's pretty straightforward otherwise. I think this is something you would grab to wear over and over and over and over again. Fit wise, finished garments are here. So we've got, now these are knits, okay? So we don't want as much ease as if it were a woven. And it's also a range. So if you're on the higher end of the alphanumeric sizing, you're going to have 0 inches of ease. From the smaller end, you're going to have negative, which -1 and 0 are kind of not that big of a deal. If you want it to be, well, then that gets into the kind of fabric you have and how much stretch there is, yada, yada, yada. 0 to -1 inches of ease is perfectly fine for a top like this. In the waist, we've got 2.5 to 3.5 inches of positive ease. So again, that's personal preference. Do you want it to be like super close fitting on your waist area? Or do you want it to be like, give yourself a little bit of room? I wouldn't go any more than that, that's for sure. And then C, D, and E hip for the skirt. A and B waist are the same. That's also interesting, that the waist of the top and the waist of the skirt are the same. Okay. C, D, and E are going to have a whole bunch of E's. We don't need to look at that. So, okay, 35% cross grain. Yay. Can we give a round of applause for putting the percentage, the stretch percentage, on the back of the envelope? That other pattern, C stretch gauge, is useless. This is what we want. Please do this for every single pattern. It makes no sense to me that you can do it for one and not for the other. If you couldn't do it and you never did it, that would be one thing, but you do it sometimes and don't do it other times. So this is what we want. The people are speaking. Please listen. We need this now that we don't have Joanne. Okay? Okay. So cotton knits, interlock jersey, novelty knits, velvet knits. Yeah, anything with 35% cross grain, which is honestly going to be anything other than like sweatshirt, fleece, ponte. All of that is not going to have enough stretch. Athleisure is not going to have enough stretch, but anything else, any cotton, jersey blend, spandex blend, cotton poly, cotton rayon, any of those is going to be fine. It's just depending on the weight of it. Like, you don't want it to be super see-through, right? So it can't be super thin. You want to give it a little bit of, I love a mid-weight cotton jersey. It is a little warm for the summer, I do admit. But if you can find something that has like a little bit of meat to it, a little bit of tooth to it, with that 35% stretch, I think that would be a home run. Okay, now we've got there 11 a tie front top this season. So tops, shorts, and pants. Sizing 6 to 16. Close fitting tie front top patterns have neckline, length, and sleeve variations. Shorts and pants patterns are loose fitting through the hip with wide front and back yokes, pockets, and zippers. Okay, so this is, Studio 54. This is, where are my roller skates? It's definitely a look. These are not high-waisted pants. If this were out of the way, you'd see her belly button. I don't really know where I'd wear this. Certainly not to Target, which is kind of like my threshold. If you've never watched one of my videos before, like, can I wear it to Target is always how I think about how wearable something is. This is a no. If the pants were high-waisted, yes, I would wear it to Target. But also this pant design with this like narrow, this like V yoke is also not my favorite thing. What other pictures are we going to get? That's it. Oh, here's the back. Oh, okay. So because, this is, okay. Their length issues, I think, are pretty consistent across all these patterns. So the bodices always seem to be really long, which I think is what is happening here. Plus, it's also just too big in general, and they're relying on this tie for the fit, which looks good in the front, but obviously there's some issues in the back. So it's too big in the back and too long. The pants, though, are not that bad. They're not that bad at all. Again, a centered zipper. I haven't seen a single invisible zipper. But you've got, and this doesn't look as funky on, like, made up as it does in the line drawings. But, yeah, a low-rise or mid-rise pant, plus the length of it with this heel is not, this is weird. This just doesn't look, it doesn't look as good as it could because of the styling and because of this length issue. The proportions are very weird. But those are all things you can fix, okay? Just because the fit garment and the fit model are not necessarily jiving doesn't mean you can't make those things work. These pants, the pants really aren't that bad. I never really get to see the front super well. So I can't give you like a full review on them. I want to see what this pointed part looks like whenever these sashes are out of the way. But either way, if you like a mid-rise pant, but obviously not showing your entire belly, put these pants with the knit top from the previous pattern. You know what I mean? If you like a high-rise pant, you can raise the rise on these. That's the beauty of sewing. You can, increase the rise very easily by like 2 or 3 inches and get a high-rise pant. Maybe you'd have to add some more darts, but you can get it done. Okay, so the back of the envelope is going to be 6 to 16. Finished garment measurements are not here at all. Okay, you're looking for like 1 inch in the waistband, which isn't your true waist, so I don't even make low-rise pants, mid-rise pants, so I don't even know how to, I guess it would be like 2 or 3 inches bigger than your waist, depending on your waist to hip ratio. And then the pants are pretty wide leg, so again, like 5-ish ease. And then this, I don't even know if they're going to be able to calculate that correctly because it ties. So maybe that's why they didn't include it. I don't know. Chambray, crepe, lightweight jersey, and rayon challis. Okay, again, this is another example of when the tops and bottoms are probably going to require different fabrics, especially on the lightweight side. So I would not make these pants out of rayon challis. Honestly, I don't know that I'd make the top out of, maybe this version of the top out of rayon challis. This one with like a slim sleeve and like a full collar, I don't know about that rayon challis. Lightweight jersey is a hard no for both. Crepe could work. Chambray could definitely work. If it were me, I'd be looking at things that are a little bit more structured. Maybe even mid-weight. Because you have a collar that you have to contend with. And then, the pants are structured too, so you want those to stand out. So yeah, I'd be looking for something a little bit more structured. If you could make it out of a knit, I'm not opposed to that, but it would definitely need to be like something way heavier than lightweight knit. I could see this out of sweatshirting, honestly, if you wanted to make it in the fall out of sweatshirting. I think that could be really cute. So yeah. Not as bad as it looks, but not as good as it could be either. Okay, and the last one for this collection is a unisex pajama pattern. Extra small to extra large. Comfy sleepwear pattern includes top, pants, and shorts for men and misses, and dress in misses sizing. top and I think it's funny that they called out that the dress was just for misses. I don't think that's necessary because men like to sleep in dresses too. There is a whole thing, if you haven't seen it. In other cultures, men wear dresses to bed. So first of all, it's not even necessarily true, but secondly, like, we don't have brains, anyways. Top and dress pattern with short sleeve have scoop neckline. Pull-on shorts and pants have elastic waistband. So, yeah, these fabrics are a choice. Argyle to bed, you do you. I don't know that I would want to sleep with a seam right there. I also don't know if I want to sleep in a crew neck. But these are all me things. Does that one have a seam too? It does. But I don't see why these have to be for sleepwear. These look just as reasonable as, like, that looks like a regular dress to me. I mean, pull-on pants, people wear those out all the time. And his shirt looks like put a little Nike symbol there and you're good to go. Does she have a purse on? She has a purse. Who's going to bed with a purse? I can't. Like, no one's literally there saying, this is a loungewear pattern. We don't need a purse. Accessory person. Chill out. Take a seat. Yeah. And socks and shoes. Okay. They did call this sleepwear. Like, I'm not losing my mind. Sleepwear. It's right here, too. I mean, I guess it's a whole new take on day to night, right? It's like night to day. Like, sleep in this and then throw on your little Mary Janes, which actually those shoots are really cute, and your bag and just head out the door. Like, don't change out of your pajamas at all. Again. There's always one that's just so ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Anyways, and they're matching, which is a whole other thing. Like, can you imagine running into these people out at Starbucks? No. No. Okay. Also, I want to point out that there is no yoke in the back. The back is flat, so. Okay, wow, a whole lot of information here. Little numbers. So, finished garment measurements of the bust for the dress is all we're going to get. Okay, so the bust for the dress is going to be 5 to 7 inches of ease. I'd err on the side closer to 5, but 7 isn't the end of the world, I don't think. And then hip is going to be like 5 inches. Yeah, that's fine too. Depends on your fabric. What are they saying? A and D. This is what I'd like to see where they separate it out, but we can't make it any bigger. A and D, like the ointment. Oh, that's the tops and dress. Okay. Stretch knits only. Cotton interlock jerseys, lightweight double knits, two-way stretch. You don't need two-way stretch. Pick a knit rule, which we don't have the ruler, so we don't know what that is. And then B and C, in addition to those, so you would need two-way stretch for the pants and shorts. So if you're trying to make something matchy-matchy, top and dress and shorts, then yes, two-way stretch. If you're just making a top or a dress, you don't have to have two-way stretch. B and C also wovens? Baby cord, chambray, cotton, and cotton blends, flannel, gingham, laundered cottons. So they want you in a knit top and woven shorts. That makes sense for pajamas. But the amount of ease in that top and dress, those could be woven too. So it's really any fabric under the sun that is light to mid-weight with a little bit of structure. Yeah, think about your traditional like cotton pajamas, something like that. And then seam binding and elastic is all you need for the notions. Okay. Well, that was fun. Fun way to end. But that is everything. Those are all the patterns for New Look Summer. Honestly, I've kind of always like had like a secret little crush on New Look. This is definitely not disappointing me. Some really, really cute patterns here. Whether or not I actually buy them and make them, that's a different story. Fun to look at, 100%. If somebody else were making them for me, or I had all the time in the world, yeah, there would be some that I would make. But, you have to prioritize some things. So, I can't make them all. So, but yeah, I thought they were really cute. Let me know what you thought. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Otherwise, that's going to do it for me. I will see you all very soon. Bye!